Everybody, this is Kimberly from Lakeside Loops, and today I'm going to show you how I make my Harley herringbone head warmer. You can make this head warmer in 4 different sizes from baby to adult. So there's a baby, toddler, child, and adult size. I used Lion Brand's Woolies yarn in the colors linen and also in gray heather. You will also need a 4.25 or a G size crochet hook, so 4.25 millimeters. You will need a darning needle, and that's to create this part of the head warmer. Stitch markers may come in handy if you have trouble putting in your first and last stitches or knowing where those go. And of course, a pair of scissors. In order to follow this video tutorial, you will also need the written pattern, just like all of my other videos. So head to my blog, lakesideloops.com, where you can find the full instructions for free, the yardage, the sizing, the stitch counts, everything you need is there. This video will just go over any parts of the pattern that you may have questions about, and it's just an extra visual to help you figure out how to do this design. You can also purchase a downloadable, printable, ad-free version of the pattern from Etsy or Ravelry if you'd like to do that. Just head to the description of this video for a link to my website. This head warmer is worked in rows and then seamed together right here when you are finished to create your head warmer. So there's no seam in the back, and I love the beautiful herringbone texture. So as I said, for the full instructions on how to make this head warmer, head to my blog. I'm just going to be going over the baby size very quickly for you in this video tutorial, just to show you the stitch and how the head warmer is seamed together when everything is completed. So for the baby size, I need to chain 15. If you're making one of the larger sizes, you would have a different beginning chain, but for the baby size, it's 15. So 1. Alright, so once I've completed my chain, I'm going to single crochet into the second chain from my hook. So not this first chain right here, but the second chain, I'm going to single crochet. And now what we're going to be doing is herringbone single crochet stitches. So this line, let me pull my hook out here. This loop right here is considered a front bar. And we're going to be working into that in order to create this herringbone single crochet. So I'm going to put my hook into the front bar of my previous stitch, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the next chain. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through, and I'm going to bring it up high as my single crochet stitch. And then I'm going to grab my yarn again, and I'm going to pull it through all 3 loops on my hook. That's a herringbone single crochet. So again, I'm going to insert my hook into the front bar of the stitch that I just made. I'm going to insert my hook into the next chain, and I'm going to grab the yarn and I'm going to pull it up through very high. Then I'm going to grab my yarn again and pull it through all 3 loops on my hook. As you can see, when I'm grabbing that front bar and pulling it through into my next stitch, it's slanting it, creating the beginning of our herringbone effect. So you're just going to continue like this until you only have 1 chain left. Alright, so I've skipped ahead and I only have 1 chain left to work into, and this last stitch is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to insert my hook into the front bar of my previous stitch. I'm going to insert my hook into that last chain. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through the chain, and I'm also going to pull it through both the loops that are on my hook. So it's kind of like a herringbone slip stitch instead of a herringbone single crochet. Alright, now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn. And on this, when we're working on this side of our work, we're going to be working from the back to the front instead of the front to the back. So normally we would insert our hook this way. This time we're going to go from the back and insert our hook this way. And we're not just going to insert our hook into the stitch, but we're also going to insert our hook into the back bar. So you can see here my stitches run along the top. I've got 1, 2 loops right there. There's a 3rd loop back here called the back bar that runs along the back of the row, and I want to put my hook through all 3. So through the stitch at the top and then through the back bar. Oops. at the back. And now I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through and create a single crochet. Now we're going to be doing the herringbone single crochet again, but again it's backwards, it's back to front. So I'm going to look to my back side here. I'm going to insert my hook into the front bar of that stitch that I just created, then into my stitch and into the back bar. Then I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through nice and tall, and grab my yarn and pull it through all 3 loops. So again, front bar, into the stitch and the back bar, grab my yarn and pull it up nice and tall, and then grab the yarn and pull it through all 3 loops. So just like that all the way until we only have 1 stitch left in our row. And as you can see on the other side, it's creating this herringbone look. We're slanting our stitches this way now. Alright, so I've skipped ahead again and I only have 1 stitch left to work into. And again, this one's a little bit different. Instead of a single crochet, it's more like a slip stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook into the front bar of my previous stitch. I'm going to insert my hook into my stitch, and this one doesn't really have a back bar. It's just the stitch. I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through, and then pull it through both loops on my hook. Alright, so now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn, and we're going to be working from our herringbone side again, which means we're going to be working from front to back, so more traditional way. This is where you might want to start using a stitch marker to keep track of your first stitch, so you know where to put your last stitch when you work your next round. So for your first stitch, or sorry, all along this row, we're going to be working into not only the stitch, but the back bar again. So you can see your stitch here facing you, and then if you turn your work, you can see the back bar on the other side. So you're going to insert your hook into that stitch, but also into that back bar. Oops. Stitch. Sorry guys. I'm making this look harder than it is. There we go. The back bar. And you're going to grab your yarn and pull it through and create a single crochet. It's hard on camera sometimes. And again, you might want to put a stitch marker there so you know where to put your last stitch in your next round. Alright, now we're going to get back into the herringbone single crochet stitches. So you're just going to insert your hook into the front bar of your previous stitch, into the next stitch and the back bar, grab your yarn and pull it up nice and high, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So you're just going to continue to do that all the way down your row until you get to the last stitch, and then again it's more like a herringbone slip stitch. And as you can see, this is creating a beautiful slant. We're slanting that front bar back and forth, so it creates this beautiful herringbone look. Alright, so I've really skipped ahead now and I've created this nice long rectangle, and I'm going to show you how to seam this together to create the twisted look in the front of your head warmer. So you're going to take your nice long rectangle and you're going to fold it in half with the wrong side facing up, facing you, and the right side facing in on itself. So you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to take this end and you're going to put it in the middle of this end. So this edge is going to go in the middle, just like that. Then you're going to take, let's get this end out of here, take this side and you're going to fold it on top, and you're going to take this side and fold it to the back, creating this sandwiched look. Now you're going to take, this is where your darning needle is going to come in handy. You're going to take your darning needle and you're going to thread some yarn through it. You could slip stitch through all of this. I have done that and it does work, but it's a little trickier. It's a little easier with the darning needle. But if all you have is your crochet hook, if all else fails, you can insert your hook into here, here, in here, and here, and slip stitch this together, or you can use your darning needle and sew. So you're going to try to get into all 4 layers. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to just sew together. I am no pro when it comes to sewing. You just do your best. Doesn't have to be fancy because the yarn's the same yarn and the same color. It won't show. So you're just, once I get this back on, you're just going to sew all the way to the end here, joining all 4 of these pieces together. All right, so once you've sewn all the way across and joined all 4 pieces together, you're going to take your head warmer and turn it right side out. And once you do that, you will see this beautiful knotted look in the front. All right, I had to zoom out a little bit there so you could get a better look at the finished baby size head warmer. This is the adult size. I just love how this turned out. It's really stretchy, very warm and comfortable. I really hope that you enjoyed the pattern and that this video tutorial helped you. Keep an eye out because I have a mitten pattern to go along with this design. So the matching mitten pattern should be available for you soon as well.